Have you ever felt that someone was cheating on you, even without any proof, as if an invisible force blowing in his ear? Be careful, there's something wrong there. If this feeling creeps you, it may be because you carry a sensitivity that few can explain or endure. And if I told you that this gift is not just intuition, but a spiritual seal reserved for those born under a sign that carries the weight of hidden truth, Scorpio does not feel. He presents. He sniffs the lie even before the word is said. When the betrayal is close, your body reacts, your soul warns, your energy retreats. This is not paranoia, it is ancestral protection. According to Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, Scorpio was marked with a deep transformation mission, and therefore carries gifts that challenge common logic. One of them, detect spiritual, emotional, and even karmic betrayals before they manifest. This video is not just about betrayal, it is about revelations on 7 signs that escape the eyes of all, except those of an awake Scorpion. If you are Scorpion or have this strong sign on your map, continue, because what will be revealed here will activate memories, sensations, and answers that you may have ignored for fear or not wanting to believe what you already knew. You will recognize yourself and maybe find out that your pain wasn't in vain, that this disappointment, that clearance, that intuition you pretended not to hear, were alert. They were the first signs, and now the time has come to see them all clearly. But before revealing the first sign, I need you to be ready, because after that, you will no longer be able to pretend you do not feel. So before you follow, take a deep breath, because what comes next is not just information, it's activation. You need to be whole here, because every sign I will reveal can touch parts of your story you tried to forget. And if you have already felt something like, if you have gone through a silent betrayal, if you already realized the change in someone's eyes before the truth came out. So this video was made for you. Now I want you to do one thing. Comment down here, I feel, before you know, if you have already lived a situation where your intuition spoke louder than any word. This phrase is not just a comment, it is a seal, a commitment to your spiritual truth, and she will show that you are part of those who are not fooled by the surface. And if this content has already started to move you, if you thought, that looks with me, then clicks on like now. This helps this video come to more people who also need to recognize themselves, because every Scorpio that ignores this gift ends up hurting itself more than it needs. And don't forget to subscribe, because this video is just the beginning. The revelation journey is just beginning, and in the next parts I will reveal the 7 exact signs that denounce a betrayal even before it happens. And you will realize that all that you thought was exaggeration, it was actually a spiritual warning. Now be ready, because the first signal may already be happening to you, and maybe you haven't even noticed yet. Have you ever felt a shiver on your body without any apparent explanation? Have you been with someone and even without hearing a word, did you know that something was wrong? Maybe the person was smiling, being kind, but inside you felt a restlessness that made no sense to others. If this has happened to you, you may not be feeling too much. You may be awakening a deep spiritual gift that not everyone is prepared to recognize. And if you are Scorpion, or have this strong sign on your map, this is no coincidence. It is destination. Scorpio does not need evidence to perceive a betrayal. The body of the Scorpio speaks. He feels a weight in the air, a void in the eyes of others, a silence that cuts as a blade. Your soul is a sharp antenna. It does not depend on words. He reads the energy, and this ability is what makes it so feared, so misunderstood, and so powerful. While other signs are still trying to understand what happened, Scorpio already knows. He already felt, and the pain it brings is not light. It is a silent, lonely, deep pain, because feeling before knowing it also means suffering before everyone. Often Scorpio tries to ignore this call. He tries to be rational, tries to convince himself that he is exaggerating, but the price of silenced your intuition is high, and that's why so many Scorpions live, intensely surrender with everything, but they also retract in an almost definitive way when they realize they were betrayed. It is not drama. It is spiritual self-defense. It is energy survival. And most impressive is that this process of perceiving the hidden truth happens in layers, as if they were veils being removed one by one, until one revealed what was hidden all the time. There is something that needs to be said with all the letter S. Scorpio feels when being deceived. It may even have no material evidence, But the vibration changes, the touch cools, the presence becomes heavy, the smile looks forced, the connection breaks invisibly, and the Scorpion, even trying to keep calm, already knows something broke. It doesn't matter if it's a partner, a friend, someone in the family, or even a coworker. If there is falsehood, he will notice, not because it wants, but because it is part of its spiritual nature. And this perception is not random. Edgar Cayce, known as the sleeping prophet, said that Scorpio is one of the signs that carries the mission of transmuting pain into conscience. He is not just here to live, but to dive into the mysteries of the soul, and that includes identifying lies, betrayals, manipulations, and emotional games that go unnoticed by almost everyone. Scorpio is born with this activated spiritual lens. It is like seeing with the eyes of the soul, a vision that goes beyond time, logic, and masks. But often this sensitivity becomes a burden, because feeling before knowing is also suffering in silence. It is doubting yourself. It is fighting against its own intuition to preserve relationships that are already energetically broken. And here lives the biggest challenge of Scorpio. Trust what you feel, even when no one else sees what he sees, because the world will try to invalidate this gift. It will call paranoia, exaggeration, drama. But the Scorpio, who knows his power, does not double. He feels, he watches, and at the right time he walks away. This spiritual perception of betrayal does not come directly. It manifests itself in subtle signs that only those connected with its essence can interpret. A disturbing dream, a sudden shiver when seeing a photo, a silence that screams, a look that does not support the contact. Scorpio captures these nuances because he lives in the invisible field of truth, and the more he honors this gift, the more spiritually protected he becomes, because the universe rewards those who follow their internal truth, even when it means losing people, cutting ties, or starting out of scratch. If you have lived situations where you felt all this before betrayal was revealed, do not blame yourself. On the contrary, recognize this gift. This is your compass. This is your shield. You are not here to doubt yourself. You are here to use your sensitivity as a transformation and protection tool. And this video exists exactly to remind you of that, to give you clarity, so that you never silence what the universe is trying to show you. Now, if all that you heard here has made sense to you, if any part of your soul has recognized yourself in these words, I want you to comment now below. It can be with a short but powerful phrase. He writes like this: I feel before I know, or my soul recognizes the truth. These comments are not just loose words. They are a way of affirming their power, activating their connection with other Scorpions, and all who live this same deep but silent truth. And if you want this type of content to continue, leave your like now. This shows to the algorithm that this theme matters, that there is an awakened community seeking to understand and strengthen itself. And of course, if you haven't signed up yet, this is the time, because in the next few minutes I will start revealing one by one the 7 hidden signs that denounce the betrayal even before it happens. And I assure you, you will remember things you tried to forget. You will understand attitudes that once seemed confusing, and perhaps for the first time everything makes sense. But for that you need to be here, carefully, with delivery, because the first sign is closer than you think, and it may have happened to you. Now, if at some point in this video you felt something move inside you, a shiver, a memory, an old pain that seemed dormant, so this moment is no coincidence. There is something bigger guiding you here, and that's why I want to make you a silent but deep invitation. One step further, download your digital book now, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac Sign and How to Heal Them Before 2026. This book is not just content, it is a mirror of your soul. It reveals invisible marks that may be behind the repetitions in your life, choices that hurt, relationships that always follow the same pattern, blockages you feel but don't understand. Each sign carries a unique wound and a specific path of healing. You feel that something in you has been trying to wake up a long time ago. That has something important about to be revealed. This call cannot be ignored. Perhaps this is the answer you had so expected without knowing. The link to download is in the first comment fixed. But beware, access is limited, and this content will be removed from the air soon. If you got here, maybe because your cure begins now. Do not postpone what your soul has already recognized as truth. Go to the comment and start your journey. According to Edgar Cayce, one of the most respected figures when we talk about hidden spiritual gifts, the sign of Scorpio was not just designed to survive the world's emotional chaos. He was chosen to read the invisible. Cayce, known as the sleeping prophet, claimed that Scorpions not only feel, they absorb. They do not observe behaviors rationally like most signs. They do not depend on material evidence to know that something is wrong. Scorpio simply knows. It has the gift of energy perception, vibrational reading, deep spiritual sensitivity that goes beyond common logic. It is as if the Scorpion's soul is tuned at a different frequency. As everyone looks at the words, he listens to the silences. While the world is distracted by gestures and appearances, it plunges into the intensity of the unspoken, not shown, not explained. Cayce said that Scorpio is the sign of the hidden guardian, the one who protects secrets, but also reveals truths when necessary. Therefore, this gift of feeling betrayal, before they manifest themselves physically, is no exaggeration, no drama. It is spiritual mission. When a Scorpio enters an environment, he scans everything unconsciously. The body feels before the mind understands. The heart accelerates, breathing changes, physical discomfort arises. All are spiritual mechanisms of protection. The Scorpion is the sensor of the invisible, and that doesn't come by chance. Cayce believed that those born under this sign are old souls who have already walked through other lives carrying the burden of extreme intuition. Therefore, in this plane, they come as instruments of revelation and transformation. Scorpio energy is linked to symbolic death, regeneration, what needs to die for something new reborn. Therefore, he gives the end before the other even realizing that he began to move away. He perceives micro-expressions, changes in the vibrational field, oscillations in the energy of the house, even variations in dreams and the behavior of the people around him. And when he feels a betrayal, the sensation is like a pressure on his chest, an unnamed anguish, a certainty that he finds no rational support, but screams inside him as a spiritual alert. These perceptions are not imaginary. These are vibrational records that the Scorpio soul captures. And when we talk about betrayal, this is enhanced because the Scorpion has a deep connection with the theme of trust. For him, trusting is sacred. When you deliver everything. And so, betraying a Scorpion is not just hurting, it is to break a spiritual link that it took time, energy, and faith to build. And the most challenging for this sign is that he feels the betrayal long before he has any concrete proof. It is as if the universe whispered in its ear, as if the body shouted with physical symptoms, as if time slowed around the presence of the other, revealing everything that was being hidden. Cayce saw Scorpio as a channel, an intermediary between the visible and the invisible world. He did not come into the world to live on the surface, and precisely for this reason he pays the price of depth. To feel what no one wants to feel, see what no one wants to see, know what no one has the courage to admit. And the most painful of all this is that often Scorpio pretends that they do not know. He sees the warning, he feels the signal, but wait, he gives chances. He trusts the possibility of being wrong, but the gift of energy reading does not fail, and when he confirms what he felt, the cut is definitive. Betrayal for Scorpio is not just a break of confidence, it is a break of spiritual pact. And so, when this sign feels that he is being deceived, betrayed, or manipulated, he not only moves away, he closes. It closes internal doors, blocks emotional access, and starts a process of symbolic death within the relationship. It is as if he buried the bond even before the other one realizes that he began to die. And all this happens silently, intense, almost invisible. But it's there. It's real. And when the Scorpio is silent, it's because you've seen it too much. Cayce warned us about this. Ignoring spiritual gifts, especially those involving energy reading, can cause deep suffering. And this is something that many Scorpions live. They try to fit in, try to believe what they see, ignore what they feel. But the more they do this, the more life leads them to situations that force them to hear their intuition. Because for the Scorpio, to deny what you feel is to deny your own essence. And one of the worst pains of this sign is realizing that it saw everything, felt everything, and yet insisted on trusting. If you have experienced this experience, to perceive everything in silence, to feel betrayal in touch, look, small gestures. You need to comment here. Don't shut up. That it's not just a video. It is a real space, a channel for souls that see beyond. So right down here, I absorb what no one sees, or my soul read before the end. These phrases will attract other people like you. They will create a power stream among those who carry the same gift. And if you haven't left the like yet, do it now. It is your way of telling the universe, yes, I accept my sensitivity. Subscribe too, because what is coming in the next few minutes will show you that the pain you lived had a name, that feeling had reason, and that the first sign of betrayal may already be active inside you. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital book, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac Sign and How to Heal Them Before 2026, and find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention, the stock is limited and is running out quickly. Click now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. Scorpion feels when something is wrong, but do not feel with the mind, with logic, with the arguments of everyday life. Feel with the body, with the energy field, with the soul. It is a silent, almost suffocating knowledge that imposes itself even when everything seems calm outside. The first sign is almost always subtle, but also the most intense because it comes in weight. A weight no one sees, but that the scorpion carries in the chest. It can be an unexpected and strange visit that makes the environment dense. It can be a partner who comes home and suddenly the air looks heavier, the hardest silence, the weaker light. The presence of the person changes the vibration of space, and the Scorpio feels. He feels in the air, feels in the body, feels on the skin, as if something invisible had been broken, torn, and nothing more were like before. This weight can be confused with anxiety, stress, tired, but the awake Scorpion has already learned to distinguish. He knows when the weight comes from within and when it comes from outside. And when this sign appears, it almost always comes with another manifestation, repetitive nightmares. The second sign of betrayal that only Scorpio is able to decipher often arises during sleep. These are dreams that look more real than the day, dreams with explicit betrayal, with hard words, with situations where confidence is broken in symbolic or direct forms. Sometimes he dreams of his loved one moving away, erasing conversations, hiding something on his back. In others, dreams of scenes of abandonment, revealed lies, or even cut and separation symbols, such as doors closing, breaking mirrors, torn photos. These dreams are not just subconscious creations, they are often spiritual alerts. And often, days or weeks after these dreams, something begins to reveal itself in the real world. Small contradictions arise, attitudes change, truths begin to appear in fragments. But the Scorpio already knew, because he dreamed before seeing, dreamed before living. He receives on the dream plane messages that prepare him for the truth that is coming. And this is not superstition. It is ancestral gift. It is energetic sensitivity that goes beyond the traditional senses. Scorpions who have already aroused their spiritual connection report dreams so intense that they wake up in tears, with a rapid heart, the tight chest, as if they had experienced that pain of truth, and often they lived. They experienced in another layer of reality, in a field where the soul has already begun to understand what the ego still resists accepting. And then, as an invisible confirmation, the third sign comes. A physical sign, direct, impossible to ignore. Chills, palpitations, sudden sickness, feeling of oppression in the chest. The body of the Scorpio manifests itself before any proof appears. It's like he tried to warn, get out, this person no longer vibrates with you. And the most intriguing thing is that these reactions always happen close to the person involved in betrayal. It is not random. That's when the traitor enters the room, touches his hand, looks in his eyes, and the body responds. The heart accelerates, breathing changes, and Scorpio knows something is wrong here. Even if the other person smiles, say I love you, or act perfectly, it doesn't matter. The body does not lie. The soul has seen what the eyes cannot see yet. And when these three signs appear together, weight in the environment, repetitive dreams, and physical reaction, the Scorpio who knows his power knows. Betrayal has happened in the energy field. The truth has already been revealed spiritually. Now it's just a matter of time until she materializes. But not every Scorpio accepts it immediately. Many still doubt their own sensitivity. They try to rationalize, justify, forgive what was not even confessed. And that's where the pain intensifies. Because in denying these signs, he conflicts with his essence. He disconnects from his gift. And when this happens, the universe, it sends even stronger, more painful signs until it finally accepts what you already know. This is why it is so important to listen to one's own body, honor their dreams, respect intuition. These signs do not come to scare, come to protect. These are invisible shields that the universe gives to the sensitive, to the awake, those marked with the mission of seeing what others ignore. Maybe you have already lived something like that. Perhaps it has felt the weight, dreamed of the rupture, feeling an inexplicable chill alongside someone he loved. Maybe I ignored it. Maybe you doubted. And maybe today, looking back, you realize that your body was screaming and you silent, that your dream was showing and you didn't want to see. But now you have clarity. Now you can honor this gift. And that's why this content exists. For you to recognize the signs, validate your sensitivity, and never doubt what you feel. If you have already lived this kind of situation, comment here. Write in the comments, "I dreamed before I knew," or "My body warned." These sentences will show that you also feel the invisible, that you are part of this group of souls that present what is coming. And if any part of this message has touched your story, leave your like now. This shows that you are in tune with this channel, with this energy. And if you haven't signed up yet, you subscribe now, because in the next few minutes I will show you the fourth signal, the one that transforms everything. And it may already be happening to you, even if you have not yet realized. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital. Book the 7 hidden spiritual wounds of your zodiac sign and how to heal them before 2026. And find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention, the stock is limited and is running out quickly. Click now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. The betrayed Scorpio does not explode. He has no scandal, does not shout, does not denounce. On the contrary, he retracts himself. He collects his energy, his gaze, his voice, his soul, because when the Scorpion feels that something was broken, not on the surface but in the deep layers where true confidence dwells, it does not go to war. He goes into transition. And this is where the fourth sign comes, one of the lightest and most painful for those who live with him, the absolute silence. Suddenly the Scorpion, who was once intense, present, engaging, simply silences. But it is not any silence. It is a void loaded with messages. It is a kind of silence that echoes more than any word could say. Anyone who is on the other side feels this emptiness as an abyss, and often does not understand. He believes it is coldness, which is indifference, but it is not. It is protection. It's mutation. The silence of the Scorpio is not an escape. It is energy recalibration. It is the internal process where it begins to disconnect from the loop that was violated. He shuts inside to rearrange what was shattered. And in this process, the fifth sign appears in the eyes. The Scorpio remains there, apparently, present, but his gaze changes. And who knows, the brightness changes, the presence is diluted, the magnetism is collected, the distant but absurdly deep look takes over his face. And it's not a cold distancing, it's an abyss full of unvised truths. He knows, he has seen, but he won't tell you, because Scorpio does not confront words. He confronts the vibrational field. He expects the universe to reveal, and the universe always reveals. This look is enigmatic, penetrating, silent. It looks like he's crossing you, seeing beyond what you show. And it is, because at that moment he has already accessed a part of yours that even you recognize yourself. He has already identified the change, the subtle removal, the vibration of lies, the emptiness in intention. Scorpio doesn't need you to confess. He feels in his eyes, touch, the absence of soul. And when he enters this state, he hardly backs back, because the truth, for him, once felt, is definitive. It doesn't matter if you apologize, if you deny, if you try to prove otherwise. He already knows, and what he knows changes everything. And then, the sixth signifies as an inevitable consequence, energy distancing. And here we are not talking to stop answering messages or avoiding conversations. We are talking about something much deeper. It is as if he removed his essence from the relationship. He may still be physically there, but his soul is no longer. He has already cut the invisible wires that linked you both, and this is devastating to those who are still trying to keep their connection alive, because you feel something is gone, and it was really. Scorpio, when feeling betrayal, activates a type of internal death. It ends cycles from the inside out, even before announcing any decision. And that protects you, because when cutting energy ties, it prevents the wound from spreading, that the lie contaminates its deepest layers. And this cut is not violent, not vindictive. It is almost ritualistic. He walks away, without explanations, without speech, without evidence, because he doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. What he feels is already the proof. And this spiritual maturity is what scares, because the Scorpio does not beg for explanations. It does not beg for presence. He recognizes the absence and acts. It acts on the spiritual plane, silently, and when you realize he is gone, even if he is still there. This process of emotional mutation is painful, but also liberating. For the Scorpion, change shape is to survive. It is to ensure that your energy remains pure, even in the face of betrayal. And when it changes, there is no return, because this new form no longer carries the same bond, no longer recognizes the other in the same way. Love may continue, but confidence has been buried, and with her, a part of him too. This is the moment where many Scorpions report feeling a kind of relief mixed with mourning, because when cutting invisible ties, they also release expectations, dreams, plans, and allow themselves to be reborn. But this rebirth is not immediate. It comes with time, with pain, with silence. It comes after the mutation, and that is why, often, who cheats on a Scorpio does not understand its reaction, expects fury, scandal, exhibition, and receives silence. Expect confrontation, receives absence. And that is exactly where the transformation is complete. If you have ever lived this cycle, silent instead of screaming, walked away instead of begging, turned instead of reacting, I want you to share your experience here in the comments. Write something that translates this spiritual transition that only you understand. It can be a phrase like, "I collected myself to heal," or "cut invisible ties to save my soul." These words create a network between souls who have undergone similar processes. And if you recognized yourself in some part of this message, leave your like now. This shows the universe that you honor your transformation. And if you haven't signed up yet, that's the moment. Because the next sign will reveal a silent but devastating behavior, a point without return that many have already felt, but few understood. And maybe he's happening now, with you. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital book, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac Sign and How to Heal Them Before 2026, and find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention, the stock is limited and is running out quickly. Click now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. And then we reach the last sign, the subtler, the deepest, the rarest. What is not understood by almost anyone, but which for Scorpio is like an inner oracle that opens silently at the exact moment. Here we are no longer talking about chills, silence, or distancing. We are talking about something that goes beyond the body, the environment, the words, and even the ordinary dreams. We are entering the territory of the symbolic view, where Scorpio not only dreams but receives images that carry spiritual codes. It is as if his soul opened a direct connection with the invisible plane and began to translate what is being revealed through archetypes and symbols that speak with it in a unique way. These views do not follow a narrative logic. They often come as flashes, intense visual sensations, or short dreams, but loaded with mystical symbols. These are images that persist even after awakening. An object, a color, a gesture, a frozen look in time. Scorpion can see a knife, for example, and wake up with the feeling of being cut, and maybe no one said anything. Perhaps nothing has happened yet on the physical plane, but the image comes as symbolic prophecy, as a spiritual sign that something is being planned, plotted, or hidden, and that it will come to it soon. The knives, in the dreams of the Scorpio, do not only symbolize violence, symbolize energy cut, an end, a break. When this symbol appears, there is usually an emotional betrayal about to happen, or in many cases it has happened, and the soul is trying to alert the body before it collapses. The knife represents the break of confidence, the invisible cut between two energies that were previously united. And this symbol is clear for those who know how to interpret their own dreams with depth. Another symbol that frequently appears is the shadows. Scorpions report dreams where everything is dark, but an obscure figure watches them from afar. It can be a silhouette, a figure, a face without traces. This dark presence in dreams is a clear sign of energetic manipulation, veiled falsehood, or approximation of someone with unlavented intentions. The shadow represents what is hidden but close, something that wants to be revealed but still remains hidden, and is surrounding the spiritual field of Scorpio, tent I've been infiltrating, trying to break psychic barriers. And the most impressive is that in these dreams, Scorpio usually is not afraid. He feels a mixture of alert and acceptance, as if you already knew that this vision is a message, as if you were already prepared for what will come. And in many of these reports, there is a feeling that the soul has already understood everything, even before the conscious absorb. It is as if dreams are just serving as a channel for what is already written on another plane. There is also the symbol of the closed eyes, or faceless people, dreaming of someone close with their eyes closed may indicate that this person is hiding something serious, closing his eyes to the truth or trying to hide his own guilt. Scorpio captures this clearly, and if the image persists in different dreams, it is a clear sign that that soul is trying to deceive, manipulate, or mask its intention. The Scorpion unconscious translates this as an urgent warning, an order to pay attention to the details, in words that are not said, in gestures that do not match the feelings, in the eyes that avoid direct contact. And what makes everything even more mysterious is that these visions often repeat in cycles. Often the same symbol appears in different dreams, in different contexts, but always with the same sensation in the body upon waking. The heavy heart, the compressed chest, the look lost in the void. This is no chance. This is spiritual communication. Scorpio does not seek evidence in the physical world. It receives confirmations in other plans. And when it recognizes these images as guides, as maps, as codes, he understands that he is being warned, not punished. It is being prepared, not destroyed. Pain is only the human translation of spiritual transformation that is underway. The last sign, then, is not just about seeing. It is about accepting what was seen. It is about honoring the vision that comes even when everything around seems in peace. Because the Scorpio he sees, and trusts what he sees, is never caught by surprise. He can suffer, yes, but it is never betrayed without warning. The universe respects you too much not to signal. He just needs to hear, or rather, you need to feel. If you have already had this kind of dream, you saw a knife, a shadow, an eye, free face, or any symbol that then connected to a revelation, shares here in the comments. Your words may be the sign another Scorpio needs to understand what you are living now. Writes phrases like, "I see what no one sees," or "The image warned me before the fall." This is not just a comment, it is a spiritual statement. And if this content is awakening something to you, leave your like now. This shows that you honor your intuition and are ready to understand the next step of this journey. If you haven't signed up yet, do it now. Because what comes next is not just an explanation, it's a revelation about the spiritual impact of betrayal on the Scorpion soul. And you need to listen. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital book, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac Sign and How to Heal Them Before 2026, and find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention, the stock is limited and is running out quickly. Click now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. And when it comes to this point, after all the signs, after the body warned, after the dreams shouted, after the energy has changed and the soul has absorbed the truth, yet there are Scorpions who hesitate, that resist, that choose the most painful path of all, to silence their own intuition. And here the true spiritual danger is born, because the Scorpion does not get sick because of the betrayal of the other. He gets sick when he cheats on himself, when you feel the warning vibrating in every part of your being, but chooses to ignore, when it prefers to preserve the illusion than to face the necessary cut, when you choose to justify the unjustifiable for remaining where the soul no longer inhabits. This denial, silent and disguised, is not just an emotional error, it is a spiritual wound. Scorpio is not any sign. It carries in its energy structure the gift of deep perception, the direct channel with invisible plans, the rare sensitivity to see what is hidden even from those who try to hide. He was marked with the seal of truth, and this seal is sacred. Denying this truth does not go unpunished. It doesn't go blank. The soul feels, the body feels, the vibration begins to close, and gradually the first symptoms arise. The tiredness that does not pass, the lack of motivation, the disconnection with pleasure, the insomnia that comes even after an exhaustive day. It is as if the energy field begins to collapse slowly. Scorpions who have been through this know what I'm talking about. There is a kind of pain that is not born of what the other has done, but what we allow. And in this case, what weighs the most is not men. It takes from the other, but our choice to pretend we didn't know. The price of silencing intuition is high. And for Scorpio, he is even more cruel because this sign did not come into the world to live in denial. He came to face the truth head on, even when she hurts. He came to touch the bottom and return transformed. It has come to reborn as many times as they are needed, but never to live in the self. Pride. When a Scorpion insists on staying in a place where his energy has already been violated, where his guides have already signaled that it is no longer safe, where his intuition has already given all possible warnings, what happens is a type of gradual spiritual weakening. He begins to disconnect from his own strength. It begins to doubt what you feel. It begins to lose clarity, sharpness, faith in their own eyes. This makes him vulnerable not only to new betrayals, but to a constant feeling that he is lost within himself. And that is the greatest danger. When Scorpio is lost from himself, he also loses the spiritual direction of his own journey. Therefore, this warning is so necessary. Don't ignore what you feel. Do not bury the signs. Do not shut your soul, even if no one else see what you see, even if everyone says you are exaggerating, even if logic says it's okay, but your chest say otherwise. Honor this sensitivity. She is your gift. She is your shield. And when you honor what you feel, the universe responds. He begins to align things. It begins to push those who are not true. It starts to open doors that you didn't even know existed. Because Scorpion doesn't have to beg for truth. He just needs to choose his own. But as long as you keep denying, postponing, trying to rationalize what was felt with the soul, the healing process does not begin. And the saddest thing is that, often, Scorpio knows exactly what is happening. He just doesn't want to see. He wants to believe in the best. He wants to avoid breaking, the mourning, the end. But every end that is respected brings liberation. Every cut made with consciousness brings rebirth. And Scorpio, more than any other sign, was made to reborn. Time after time, with harder, with more wisdom, with more power. Scorpio energy is a portal, and portals were not made to be ignored, were made to be crossed. But to cross, it takes courage. It takes spiritual responsibility. You have to say to yourself, I accept what I feel, even if no one else understands. Because right now, when you accept your intuition as truth, you reconnect with who you really are. And then, it all starts to change. The clarity comes back. The force reorganizes. The soul finds peace. If any part of this stretch spoke to you, if you already silent before an inner truth that screamed for attention, comments down here. Write phrases like, I accept what I feel, or denying my intuition weakens me, or my soul knows before my mind. And if this message made sense, leave your like now. This is your way of showing the universe that you are choosing your essence. If you haven't signed up yet, this is the moment, because what comes next will show you how the repeated denial of intuition can break your spiritual field, and how to reverse it before it becomes a permanent wound. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital book, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac Sign and How to Heal Them Before 2026, and find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention, the stock is limited and is running out quickly. Click now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. If you got here, it's because something inside you already knew. Maybe not with words, maybe not with evidence, but with sensations that could not be ignored. And if at some point, during all we have said so far, you felt as if someone is describing exactly what you lived, so it's no coincidence. This is spiritual connection. This is the universe calling you back to yourself, reminding you of what you already knew, but maybe you have silenced. too long. You are not alone. And especially if you are Scorpion, you need to understand that this journey has never been common. Its way is marked by depth, pain, silent rebirths, for presence that scream inside, even when no one outside is listening. Scorpion did not come into the world to believe only in what he sees. He came to decipher the invisible, and this gift needs to be honored. It needs to be remembered. It needs to be used as a protective, healing, awakening tool, because what you feel, even without explanation, is real. The cold in the stomach, the look that has changed, the sudden silence, the symbolic dream, the chill by touching someone, the feeling that everything was dense overnight. None of this is an exaggeration. None of this is your head. It is only your spiritual field on alert. This is your soul communicating with you. And now you know. Now you understand. And knowing that changes everything. That's why, before we follow, I want to invite you to seal this truth. If you are Scorpio or love someone who carries this strength, writes now in the comments, "I carry this energy." This phrase, true, is not just a participation in the video. It is a spiritual recognition. It's like lighting an invisible candle inside you saying, "I accept this gift even when it scares me. I honor this sensitivity, even when it isolates me. I connect with this power, even when the world tries to make me doubt it." And if at some point you remembered some situation you lived, if all this woke up something inside you that was dormant, then leave your like now. This simple gesture shows that you are ready to look inside and strengthen your own truth. And more than that, it helps this content to reach other souls like yours. Because you know, Scorpio feels alone many times. And when you find a mirror, a place of speech, a space where it can be whole, everything transforms. This channel was created for this, to be this space, to be this mirror, to remind the forgotten that the invisible is also real. And if you haven't signed up yet, this is the time. Not only because you liked what you heard, but because you're part of it. Because what is to come in the next videos will further deepen your journey. It will reveal what are the 3 signs that Scorpio should never trust and why. And it is not by judgment. It is for energy. It is by protection. It is by spiritual mission. Because when you understand whom your soul aligns, and with whom it enters, spiritual conflict, it all starts to make sense. You will understand past betrayals. You will notice repetitive patterns. You will know where to surrender and where to protect yourself. And that is powerful. This is liberating. Therefore, activates the bell. Stay with me on this journey. Because Scorpio doesn't walk alone. He walks in silence, yes, but along with others who feel, who know, who were chosen to read what the eyes don't see. Now write down here. Don't leave it later. Enter. I carry this energy. Or if you feel that you are ready for this new phase, I commented, "I trust what my soul feels." These phrases open portals. They manifest. They create a spiritual current with other Scorpios who are also waking up. And if this video found you today, it was no coincidence. None of this was by chance. If you got here until the end of this video, it says a lot about you. He says you feel more than most. May you honor what you carry within the soul, and that is ready, or ready, to further deepen on this spiritual journey that has not started now, but that is just being remembered. So if this content has touched something inside, you are now subscribed to the channel. This is your space, a place where your sensitivity is not weakness, it is strength, where what you feel has name, value, has purpose, and activates the bell. Because the next videos will continue this revelation that only those who really feel can follow. Now, if you went to the end with me, leave a like. It shows that you are honoring your own process and helps this video get to other people who also need to hear it. And he comments down here, "Without fear, with truth. I went to the end because this message is mine." Write this phrase. It is not just a comment. It is a seal, a confirmation that you are ready for what comes next. And talking about it, the next video is already appearing here on the screen, on the left side. Click on him now and continues his journey with me. There I will reveal secrets that complete everything you started to access here. Go there now, and remember, your intuition has brought you here. Trust it until the end.